Hi, my name is Shalei and I'll be talking about music and the brain. Every day and almost everywhere, you are listening to some type of music. In each situation, it's affecting you in a certain way, whether you realize this or not. But how, you might ask? Well, let's start by looking at the brain. What parts of the brain does music affect, and how? You have three major parts of your brain: the cerebrum, the cerebellum, and the brainstem. The cerebrum helps to recall memories, such as remembering music lyrics or the pitch that you heard. The cerebellum helps create smooth, interlinking movements when listening to music. This is all part of the limbic system. The limbic system is composed of several interlinking parts that lie deep inside your brain. This part of your brain allows you to react emotionally to music, getting chills, being happy, sad, joy, excitement, pleasure, and other feelings. These are both part of the limbic system. The ventral tegmental area is stimulated by music the same way it is by eating good food, sex, and drugs. The amygdala part of the limbic system is usually associated with negative feelings, such as fear, which can be easily induced by music. The auditory cortex is the part of your brain that processes the pitch you're hearing and the volume of the sound. The prefrontal cortex helps you gain knowledge of what the tone of the music actually is. 3 out of the 4 lobes of your brain are actually used when listening to music: the frontal, parietal, and temporal. So now that we looked at the components of the brain, we'll move on to the components of music. There are 6 different components of music. First is pitch, the vibrational frequencies throughout the air that make up the pitch or the note that you hear. Second is music intervals, the difference between one pitch and the next. Third is key, the series of pitches that the notes belong to. Fourth, musical contour, how the music rises and how it falls. Fifth, rhythm, the length and spacing between each of the notes. And sixth, tempo, the speed at which the music is played. We'll be focusing on number 3, which is key. There are 2 primary keys in music: major keys and minor keys. Major keys are usually associated with happiness, as minor keys are associated with sadness. Major keys have shorter phrases, and the motives are usually repeated. An example would be a sonata by Beethoven. Usually make your pulse go faster and you breathe faster. Now, minor keys. Minor keys are associated with sadness. The tempos are slower, and the melodic rhythms are usually more drawn out. An example would be Rachmaninoff's Etude in Tableau. So now you know what each of them sound like and how you emotionally react to them. Well, what effect does music really have on us? Well, let's say that you had damage to your temporal lobe, which means your auditory cortex wouldn't be working correctly. Well, let's use Mr. Renshaw as an example. Mr. Renshaw's auditory cortex isn't working correctly, which means he can't differentiate pitch and he can't really tell what the melody is. He also wouldn't remember if you had played a song to him before. So let's take one track that's major and one track that's minor. We played the major track to him once. He hears it and he feels happiness. We play it again. He doesn't remember he's heard it and cannot tell the melody, yet he feels the exact same emotion as he did the first time, and so on and so forth. The minor key works the same way, which means even if you can't really hear the melodies, you can still tell if it's happy or sad. So do musicians emotionally react the same as non-musicians? Well, that would mean their brain was pretty much the same, correct? Well, it poses the question, are trained musicians' brains any different than a non-musician's brain? Yes, but only to a small extent. The cortex of a musician's brain is 5% larger than that of a non-musician's. And if you started music at an early age, your auditory cortex is actually, your cortex is 15% larger. Your auditory cortex has 130% more gray matter than that of a non-musician. So next time you hear some music, take a little time to listen. Thank you.